How adult content creation changed my life for the better as a disabled person. So let's get into it. My name is Molly, or Molly Snowcone on other platforms, and as you can see, I use a wheelchair. I have a disease called Friedreich's ataxia, and it is muscle wasting and progressive. I was diagnosed when I was 10, and I could still walk at that point. And I was still walking at 18 when I went to college. I really found myself during those years, like 10 years of schooling and degrees, and I just loved it. I really thrived, and it was amazing. But during that time, my disease did what it does best, and it progressed. And I needed a wheelchair by the age of like 22, and I was still fully independent. I just couldn't walk anymore. And then I graduated. It wasn't a big deal that I did it from a wheelchair. I had all this education. I was so prepared to tackle the world and excited to get a full-time job. I felt like the world was at my feet. But eventually I realized I needed a caregiver. It was becoming too hard to get dressed and care for myself, so in order to get a caregiver, I either had to private pay my entire income, so I would have no money for rent or bills or food. It would all go to the caregiver, or I could be on Medicaid and get a Medicaid caregiver. So I did, and long story short, I quit my job and I was on Medicaid for a few years, and I hated it. It was a very dark time, and I was not happy, and so I was like, something's gotta change, something's gotta give, because I'm not doing this, living in poverty, forced poverty for the rest of my life. And that attitude and that drive is what saved my life. Let me just say, first and foremost, some people are not interested in participating in the industry I am in. However, I do enjoy it. I consent, and I am more than happy to be there on my own will and my own right. I had participated in that industry for years, and so switching to cameras and certain websites wasn't a far step for me. So when I had a lot of interest on TikTok and other platforms, it was an easy decision for me to cross